What's up, YouTube? This is Howard Talks. Like and subscribe. So today I'm going to read an article that is probably old but new to me since I just saw it not too long ago. And so this article is on MSN News, and the title says 14-year-old boy shot mom in the back of the head during an argument about a tablet he allegedly stole. Now, I'm not going to read this whole article, just some bits and pieces of it or whatever to give you like a clear picture of what's going on. So bear with me. So it starts off, a teenager in Wyoming is facing first-degree murder charges after allegedly shooting his mother, Theresa McIntosh, and killing her. The teen had allegedly been considering shooting and killing his mother for some time because they frequently argued about his grades and behavior. On the day she was killed, the catalyst was reported an argument about him apparently stealing from someone his mom worked for. Both of his parents were at a loss for what to do with the teen's pattern of stealing. For everyone involved, it was the final straw, but despite his desire to kill his mother, the teen still lied to the police and told them she killed herself. It continues on. About 12:50 p.m. March 7, 2026, deputies from Lorain County Sheriff Office responded to a call about a 41-year-old woman who, with a gunshot wound to the head, a news release announced. When deputies arrived at the home, they found the victim unconscious but breathing. She had visible gunshot wound to the back of her head, according to the release. First, she was taken to Cheyenne Regional Medical before airlifted to UC Health in Fort Collins, Colorado. Unfortunately, she died from her injuries. It continues. A juvenile was taken in custody at the scene. The release read at the time the names of the suspect and victim were withheld due to the age of the suspect and sensitive nature of the case. Since then, the suspect had been identified as 14-year-old Havoc Leone by Wyoming Tribune Eagle after obtaining court documents. He allegedly shot his mother, identified as McIntosh. At first, however, Leone told police that his mom had shot herself. About 2 hours before McIntosh was killed, she and the boy's father, her longtime partner, were arguing with the teen about a tablet he stole from her cleaning clients. Cowboy State Daily reported she was in the boy's room doing a puzzle. At the time of the argument, McIntosh allegedly called her son retarded and a thief. It was after that argument that he made the decision to shoot her. He had previously thought about killing his mom when she would make him do things he didn't want to do, per Cowboy State Daily. About a week before the shooting, Leone had reported taking McIntosh's gun out her car and hid it in a boot in his closet. The teen allegedly took the gun after a big fight which began after Leone had received a D in math. He was angry right before the shot McIntosh and could tell her how much he hated her because she doesn't understand him, investigators wrote in documents. He was mad McIntosh was calling him names. Right before he shot McIntosh, she had asked for the password to the tablet which the teen had written in a notebook. When he went to go get the notebook, he retrieved the gun. Concealing the gun from her view, he threw the notebook. She was still yelling at him when she picked up the notebook, and then he shot her in the back of the head, holding the firearm with both hands, according to court documents, Cowboy State Daily reported. Okay, well, I ain't gonna read the rest. All I know is how are we getting to this point with the kids that they are crashing out on their parents and shooting them over stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like when I was younger, when I got mad at my mother, it wasn't to the point where I would go and get the gun and shoot my mother, because no matter how much my mother made me mad at the situation that she was yelling at me about, I still loved my mother dearly. So the thought didn't even cross my mind. But these kids is crashing out over tablets, phones, laptops. They just cracking up. I mean, to shoot your mother. I mean, if you already got a pattern of stealing already, so why are you getting mad that your mom is calling you out? Now, as far as the name calling goes or whatever, I can see the point and being upset about that. I said, but you got to understand why she is mad, why she is upset. Because you're doing stupid stuff. You're stealing, and then you turn around and then you get your mother's gun and you shoot her in the back of the head because the tablet that you allegedly stole, when technically you probably, I'm not even going to say that you didn't steal it or you did steal it, but the evidence is all there pointing to that you did. But I just don't understand how these kids is going this far with, you know what I'm saying, killing their parents over these electronic devices. You know, when you give kids these type of things early, extra early, you know, they tend to get real spoiled and get real entitled. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Just, you know, some parents, they have a phone. They have an iPhone, and sometimes they have the latest one. I can never afford one, so I don't even bother by getting one. But you know, my daughter wanted one, and I was like, no, not getting one. If I can't afford to get one, why would I get you one? You know, you get an Android like everybody else in the house or whatever. They do all the same things or whatever. All you're doing is texting and calling or whatever, as far as I'm concerned. But, you know, Apple got their own products. They all expensive to me or whatever. And even if I get to the point to get an Apple, I just like, no, I'll pass. You know what I'm saying? I got a Galaxy. I'll deal with that or whatever. But when you get old enough to afford your own electronic devices, well, then you can get them or whatever. But you know, I was fortunate. You know, my mother worked for all the stuff that she got me or whatever. And if she couldn't afford to get me these things, you know what I'm saying, I would be hurt. But I understood. And later on down the line when I got older, I understood even more. You know what I'm saying? It's just like my mother already sacrificed and struggled enough, and to get me everything that she possibly could get me or whatever. I may not have the best name brand shoes, but I had shoes. You know what I'm saying? You know, when I was growing up and I was in high school, probably junior high or whatever, is when I experienced a lot of nonsense stuff or whatever, where, you know, you had a lot of kids cracking on you because you didn't have a pair of Nikes and stuff like that. It bothered me, but not as much as it would bother probably this generation of kids or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And for me, as long as I had on new clothes, I already thought I was fly. You know what I'm saying? You can have this person over here with Nike shoes on, Nike pants on, Nike shirt or jersey at the time, Nike hat or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That works for him. Now, if I have a pair of off-brand black pants and some new shoes and a new shirt and a new hat, ain't even got to be name brand, but as long as it's all new to me, then I'm flying to myself or whatever. But back to these electronic devices or whatever. Like I said, these electronic devices is causing these kids to crack up, and you know what I'm saying, and Lord forbid you disconnect the Wi-Fi, or that'll really make them lose their mind. Then I experienced that experience over here with my wife's my sister-in-law or whatever, she crashed out when her aunt unhooked the Wi-Fi box or whatever. She was so mad, and we were all outside or whatever. She was so mad she stayed up. She stayed in her room because the internet was disconnected or whatever. So, but anyway, I just wanted to give y'all some history with this stuff in these news articles. But like I say, it's old news, but it's new news to me because, you know what I'm saying, I like when I scroll past this stuff and I hear about it, I say, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and do a video about it or whatever. So, you know, like I said, like and subscribe. Y'all tell me what y'all think. And I'm gonna end the video right